I've speculated for a while that the delay in the Justin Jefferson extension has nothing to do with the Vikings, meaning that whatever Jefferson and his camp is asking for, they're ready to sign that deal, but that this is all on Jefferson, waiting for, I believe, CeeDee Lamb to sign his contract. So that way, Jefferson goes into next year, 2024, with the title of highest paid receiver in the league. But what do you do when the party that you're waiting on to make their first move is also waiting on you to make the first move? According to Jeremy Fowler on SportsCenter this past Sunday, he says that the Cowboys are trying to figure out what to do with Dak Prescott's contract and CeeDee Lamb's contract, but Prescott's contract takes priority first, and that Lamb is okay with that because he's likely waiting on Justin Jefferson in Minnesota. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe we're in the middle of a wait-off between these two receivers. In which case, if I'm representing Jefferson, I'm like, dude, bro, like screw trying to be the highest paid receiver. Let's go after you being the highest paid non-quarterback. Go after the Nick Bosa contract and usurp those numbers. However, there's a problem. I recently learned something, that Jefferson and Bosa coincidentally share the same agent, Brian Arold, which I can only imagine. And this is purely speculation. I don't know anything about anything. This is just my opinion. When you look at these puzzle pieces sporadically spread out and start to put them together, I can imagine a situation where you have these two high-profile clients. Nick Bosa's already rich. Jefferson is about to get rich. If you're able to retain the services of those two high-profile clients, they're both rich, which means that you're rich as well. You don't want to create any friction. I can see a situation, these athletes, professional athletes, and their egos, where I can see a situation, Nick Bosa saying, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, dude, you just got me this contract last year. I hold the title of highest paid non-quarterback in the league. And then you turned around a year later and worked that contract for somebody else, passing my numbers? What the hell, dude? You want to keep the peace, obviously. Hey, Jefferson, the target has to be highest paid receiver in the league. Just my thoughts. Your thoughts in the comment section below. If push come to shove, if this really is a wait-off between Jefferson and Lamb, I believe that Jefferson would sign his deal first, because he doesn't strike me as a guy that would put his team in a conundrum where, hey, your quarterbacks need you, the offense needs you, the whole team needs you for these mandatory mini camps and training camps. They need you in the building. He doesn't strike me as a guy that would do that for the sake of this tug of war battle for bragging rights to be the highest paid receiver in the league. All right, fine. That's just not my speed. I'll sign it. And then 2 days later, CeeDee Lamb, he gets the title. I just don't see that happening. But this does spark a new topic brought up by Mike Florio, who tweeted out, as multiple veteran receivers, Brandon Ayuk, Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, CeeDee Lamb, wait to get paid, it's time to wonder whether supply and demand will make the receiver market go the way of the running back market. And that got me to thinking. The wide receiver position, I believe, is starting to get a bit saturated, not as oversaturated as the running back position, but I think it's due to, in large part, that you have to be technically sound. Before, it was about the prototype for a receiver, what you wanted out of the draft was a big body, someone who has an insane vertical leap and can win the 50-50 ball. Just that T.O. Randy Moss type of player, which if you can get those players, great. But now it's more so size be damned. Do you have speed? Can you run routes? Can you consistently create separation? Do you have hands? If you do have those things, you will be successful. That's why I wasn't really on the Quentin Johnston train last year. I do believe that Justin Jefferson and Tyreek Hill, they're in their own tier. They are such huge game changers that whatever it is that they want, hey, you offer them a blank check and you write the number that you want. They are worth every single penny. After that, is there really a difference? Talking about impact on the game, is there really a difference between, say, Amon-Ra St. Brown and Garrett Wilson? Probably not. Not the gap in difference that's worth tens of millions of dollars? Probably not. CeeDee Lamb and Puka Nacua? Is there a difference there? No. Brandon Ayuk is eventually going to get paid. Is there really a sizable difference worth tens of millions of dollars between he and, say, Tank Dell? Rashee Rice is, if he would just stop being addicted to doing stupid stuff, he could be involved in this conversation. You've got the big three receivers in this year's draft. Hey, man, it's as long as you have that baseline skill set, you'll be fine to where I can see a situation, again, outside of Justin Jefferson and Tyreek Hill. You pay Jefferson whatever it is that he wants. But if we were in a situation where it's like, all right, we have CeeDee Lamb instead or Brandon Ayuk, they're very, very good players. But as long as your scouting department is on point at that position, I'll take the chance. I'll go ahead and trade you and get draft picks. And speaking of trading you to get draft picks, on Justin Jefferson, Charlie Walters came out with a report saying that, quote, there was buzz at draft time that the Vikings wanted to move from number 11 to number 5, not to pick a quarterback, but to get LSU wide receiver Malik Nabers, who was picked 6th by the Giants. Had that trade occurred, Jefferson would have been traded and Nabers would have been the number 1 receiver. And, oh man, while I do have the opinion that Charlie Walters puts out wild stuff on the reg, I do believe that he has a team source that fed him this information. I also believe that that team source is lying. Either that or the Vikings narrowly escaped executing the ultimate dumbass master plan. Because trading up to the 5th spot held by the LA Chargers would have required, if the Chargers are smart, pick 11 and not pick 23. We want your future first round pick in 2025. Because at pick 23, all the good quarterback prospects will be gone, to where you're only relying on Sam Darnold and Nick Mullins. More likely than not, that 2025 first round pick is going to be somewhere in the top 5, maybe even top 3. We want your future first round pick. You're going to do all that work to trade up to take not a quarterback, but a receiver? Make it make sense. And then what? Go after a quarterback next year? Which I would have been for a guy like Shedeur Sanders, but the man did just talking about his talent and his ability. Sidebar here. He has all the talent in the world to be the number 1 pick next year. Shedeur Sanders, quarterback out of Colorado. However, he clearly has leadership issues to where a player, I don't remember his name, that ended up leaving Colorado's football program recently spoke out and said that head coach Deion Sanders didn't make the effort to try to get to know us, to where Shedeur Sanders responded to that saying something along the lines of, I don't even remember that player. He was likely mid at best. I don't want that around my team. That's bad for the culture. I'm super good. You would have taken your chances at going after quarterback next year that's worse off than this year for the sake of getting a receiver? No, I don't believe that at all.